What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for October 15th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the podcast. It is a Tuesday. That usually means it's time for a little motivation / positivity. However, I got nothing to be positive about right now. Literally nothing to be positive. It's been a ridiculous week in Philly sports. It's been a ridiculous year. So instead of giving you some BS positivity that I'm not feeling and I don't believe in, I'm going to give you a coping mechanism. We're going to go back, and it's a little tongue-in-cheek, I will admit. However, we need something. And if you ever watch Seinfeld, you know the Serenity Now episode. And that's what we need. We need some Serenity Now. This week in particular, if we don't have Serenity Now, like, my blood pressure has been through the roof. It hasn't gone down since the Phillies. Haven't even had time to process the Phillies because of all the other BS that's happened in Philly sports. So whatever you need, whatever mantra you need, use it. Serenity Now. I mean, just first of all, just this week. You had those 2 losses of the Phillies up in New York, which were absolutely disgraceful. You had whatever it was on Sunday down at the link. And then I woke up today to go to the gym, and I found out Paul George hyperextended his knee. What in the flying hell is happening right now in Philly sports? And then if you look at the year of 2024, you have the Eagles debacle, the last couple games, and then the playoff loss. You have Joe tearing his MCL when the Sixers were a dominant team, one of the best in the league. Flyers choking. The Sixers getting bounced by the Knicks, who the Sixers were not a better team than the Knicks. I don't care what anybody says. Then the Phillies getting our hopes up and then completely pulling them off. The Eagles start to this season, whatever the hell this is, Nick Sirianni, whatever, and now Paul George. So Serenity Now. That's what we need. We need Serenity Now. Obviously, we know how that episode played out. It said you're only suppressing your emotions and it's bad, this, that, and the other. But whatever, man. Like, New Philly, out the window. Sorry, out the window. No more New Philly. Because the more things change, the more they stay the same. But Serenity Now, whatever mantra you need to keep your blood pressure down. I'm fired out of a cannon today because it's absolutely insane. And I didn't want to put something fake out there that I'm not believing myself, because we need serenity. You need to take deep breaths, count to 10 backwards, go for whatever you need. Don't let these Philly sports teams kill you, because that's ultimately what they're doing. Like, it's at this point, if it was any other city, we would be laughing. But that was just 2024. We can go back to 2023, the Super Bowl loss, the NLCS loss, the pick and choose your own adventure with the Joel Embiid injury, the James Harden situation, the Ben Simmons situation. Go back to 2022, losing the World Series, losing the Super Bowl. It goes on. It's ridiculous. We need Serenity Now. Do not let these teams do this to us. It's not worth it, man. Yes, I mean, this has not been a fun calendar year for Philly sports. No, the highs do not outweigh the lows. We need Serenity Now. And that is our Tuesday motivation / positivity. Hopefully that gets you through your week. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And Paul George hyperextended his knee, and he didn't even, like, it wasn't like he was driving or anything. He just was jogging down the court, hyperextended his knee. You've got to be kidding me with this right now. But yeah, apparently hyperextension probably is going to be in doubt now for the home opener, or the opening game of the season, with our old pal Doc Rivers coming back. Joe isn't playing in the preseason. Excuse me. They say they got me worked up. Serenity Now. But even if he does play, he's going to be out of shape. We've seen it so many times with him. I I hate to even think this, but what else am I going to think now? I think he probably tweaked his knee somehow, whether it was in the Olympics or in camp, and that's why it's just, what more can we take? Sixers did win. Good, solid team effort. But Paul George, you've got to be kidding me, especially since we're starting the Sixers preview tomorrow. Or no, not tomorrow. Thursday. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But Serenity Now, Serenity Now, Serenity Now. A couple quick housekeeping notes. First, I want to give a shout out to the people that go to the gym at 4 a.m. We're a different breed. It's amazing how packed the gym is at 4 a.m. But be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mott at Twitter and TikTok, at Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Follow the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott. Subscribe, like, all that other good stuff, and then spread the word. Obviously, if you're listening, you enjoy it. Somebody else might enjoy it too, so spread the word. If you need any information on the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame, the link is in the bio, gearing up for the induction ceremony on November 7th. Lots of good things in the pipeline, working on a couple different projects. Hopefully, I'll be able to announce them soon. But everything you need is in the description. Be sure to follow my boys at the Clashing Conferences. It should be an interesting couple episodes this week. And then go to Philly Goat. I don't know what gear you want. Maybe I have a toxic relationship with Philly sports, because that sums it up perfectly. That's what we have. They have that for you. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery, no matter what you get, to take 10% off. But go to phillygoat.com, promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. And Clashing Conferences, that is available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. Before we get into the Eagles, we'll recap yesterday's question of the day. And I asked you who was the GOAT of the game. 100% of you said it was A.J. Brown. That was the only correct answer. Where would this team be without him? And just watching some of the game tape and everything, that catch was just phenomenal. And it wasn't the greatest throw. I know some people were like, oh, well, AJ turned the wrong. No, we'll get into that here in a minute. But thank you, as always, for participating in the question of the day. There will be another one later in the show. All right, before I get into Sirianni, I don't know how much stock I put in this, but in the effort to be fair, I always try to give you the full story, give you accurate information. I did see a Twitter post. I forget who posted it, but the guy that apparently Nick Sirianni was yelling at posted on Reddit that it was him, and he was basically jawing back and forth with Sirianni, giving him the business about running the ball with Saquon, or the lack thereof, and was like, look, this is what happens when you run your $13 million or how much money he's making. That's what happens when you run. So apparently that's what Sirianni was drawing back at it. So again, it was on Reddit. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, I guess. Sirianni did come out and apologize, but so what? This dude's a clown. I've tried. I cannot take it anymore. I'm out on Nick Sirianni. I don't care what the context was. You don't jaw at the fans as the head coach of a team. And truthfully, people liked it. And probably, you go back to the tape, I probably said it was awesome too. But you don't do it when it's your own fans. You don't do it when it's opposing fans. And they've done nothing since he was jawing at the fans in Kansas City last year. This dude is a clown. He's an absolute clown. And, I mean, he said it doesn't help when they boo. Get over it. You don't want to be booed? Don't suck. I mean, we've said that a million times, many different ways. Don't suck. Don't do the things that are getting you booed. Don't do them, and you won't get booed. And honestly, that's who we are. I would boo my own mom. I probably did boo my own mom at the dinner table because I didn't like dinner. I mean, it's just who we are. It's what happens. We boo. Suck it up, Nick. You're getting paid millions of dollars to get booed, and you wouldn't get booed if you didn't suck. Simple as that. A lot of people were upset that his kids were at the press conference. I don't care. Most of the people that were upset were people in the media because they felt they couldn't ask him hard questions. Guess what? Do your job. Ask the hard questions. That's his fault for bringing his kids out there. The kids need to learn too. Ask him the tough questions. And I mean, again, I don't care. Like, whatever. Guys bring their kids. Like, maybe it was a defense mechanism for Sirianni so he didn't get asked tough questions. But guess what? As much as you're bitching about it, it worked. Ask him the tough questions. I don't care if he brings his wife, his mom, his grandma, whoever. You have a job to do. Ask. And look, I'm so loud. I got Siri going off. But do your job. Ask the tough questions. It doesn't matter who he brings out. Bring his great. It does not matter. Ask the tough questions. And if you're not going to ask the tough questions, don't bitch about it. Because truthfully, I don't care that he had his kids there. The bottom line is that team was not ready to play. You had 2 weeks to prepare for this. You've not scored a point in the first quarter now all season. What did you do over the bye week? I mean, that is, the players have to play, but that's on the coach. That's pretty much every game this season now. He's not had them ready to come out and play. It's insane. And I get that Cleveland has a better defense. Doesn't matter, man. Does not matter. Your defense played lights out. And again, I know it's Cleveland, but whatever. They gave up 9 points. 9 points. You scored 20? Come on. Like, seriously. Like, it's ridiculous. And I mean, and I don't know. Like, at this point, he's a clown. Maybe he's a genius, though. Because what are we talking about right now? We're talking about Nick Sirianni. We're not talking about the fact that Jalen Hurts does not use the center of the field ever. I've seen so many different play charts and things like that, and they don't go in the middle. Very, very rarely do they go in the middle. Why are they not throwing screen passes to Saquon? Howard Eskin reported yesterday that it's he's not comfortable going under center. He's not comfortable with motion. So is this a coaching issue or is it a Jalen Hurts issue? And Sirianni's out there. He's a clown, but maybe he the more outrageous he is, the more he's like, you're taken away from the fact that Jalen's not doing his job. I don't know. I'll give Jalen credit. He was solid, but he wasn't spectacular. He wasn't an MVP candidate. He didn't play like he deserved $55 million. Congratulations. You didn't turn the ball over. That's your job as a quarterback. Like, I don't know. Do I get a raise and a bonus if I go to work or show up to work on time? No. Like, do your job. Again, I don't know if that's a bigger issue, but that's the question of the day. Is this a Kellen Moore problem or is this a Jalen Hurts problem? And you know which side I'm on. 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let me know your thoughts. Is this a Kellen Moore problem or Jalen Hurts? I think this reeks of Jalen Hurts just not being as good or maybe being stubborn and not willing to put in work. And I know everybody talks about his work ethic, but if he's not comfortable, why not work at getting comfortable at it? Like, because this is the same offense they ran last year. Maybe, just maybe, it's the quarterback. And the coach is doing all this ridiculous clown behavior to deflect and distract us from the real issue. And it's Jalen. And I've talked before about the weapons. Like, Donovan McNabb made James Thrash and Todd Pinkston look like average NFL wide receivers. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and you're an average quarterback. Like, something is not adding up. And it's either the play calling or Hurts. I don't know. What do you think? Is it a Kellen Moore issue? Jalen Hurts, 267-495-8531. That's a Back to the Future voice and text line. But it's absolutely ridiculous. And where's Jahan Dotson been? Where is he? And again, is that an issue with Kellen Moore? Or is that Jalen Hurts just not even looking his way because he's not A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith? When there was no A.J. and Devontae, he didn't look at him. Is that Kellen Moore not calling the plays? Or is that Jalen Hurts just not being able to read defenses and find him? I mean, Tyler Heineke and Jahan Dotson tore up the Eagles last year. Kind of makes you go, But let me know your thoughts on that. The injury news. No word yet on Goddard. It looks like Slay might be day-to-day with his injury. Jordan Mailata is going to miss a few weeks, which that's going to be a huge, huge loss for the Eagles. I should give credit where credit is due. Cooper DeJean looks like he's going to be an NFL player. I like the combination of him and Quinyon Mitchell. But, man, that feels better. Serenity now. I feel a little bit better. But, again, I mean, is it Kellen Moore or Jalen Hurts? I think it's Hurts. And truthfully, is Nick Sirianni that much of a doofus? Or is he a genius and completely distracting from the fact that Jalen Hurts just is not good? I mean, I think both could be true. Let me know your thoughts on both of them. But the official question of the day, is it Kellen Moore or is it Jalen Hurts? Let me know either on the social media or on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Big day for the Phillies today. Speaking of heart attacks, press conference, Dave Dombrowski and maybe Rob Thompson. Maybe Dave Dombrowski comes out and says Rob Thompson's fired. I don't know. I'm not expecting much, but I cannot deal with the whole BS. Give it to me straight. Admit that you didn't do enough as general manager. Admit that the players did not show up when they needed to. Don't give me this, we had that. No. Give me real answers. And I don't know. Nobody seems to have an idea whether Thompson's going to be back or not. Who knows? Maybe that's what the big announcement is this morning. I will have that tuned in. I have a training today, so I'll be tuned in kind of half and half with that. And if anybody from work is watching, I will be fully invested in the training and not listening to Dave Dombrowski's press conference. Wink, wink. Flyers back in action tonight in Edmonton. Cannot wait for them to be on the East Coast so I can actually watch something and have a little bit of fun. But, man, I'm exhausted just from talking about all what happened this year. It's been a terrible, terrible 2024. Serenity now, serenity now, serenity now. All right. Today, we're going to go back to 2009. And this is another one of those great Phillies postseason games that did not make our list, but was still one of those great games in Phillies postseason history. That is Game 1 of the 2009 NLCS. Dodgers scored first in the bottom of the first. It's top of the first. Bottom of the first, Phillies put up 5. Sorry. I'm all fired up now. Dodgers scored first in the bottom of the second. In the top of the fifth, the Phillies put up 5 runs. Chooch hit a 3-run homer. Ryan Howard hit a 2-run double. I'm all over the place today. And then Raul Ibanez hit a 3-run homer in the eighth. Let's start this all over again. On this day in 2009, it's another great day in Phillies postseason history. Game 1 of the 2009 NLCS out in LA. Dodgers scored first in the bottom of the second. Phillies put up 5 in the top of the fifth. Chooch hit a 3-run homer. Ryan Howard hit a 2-run double. Raul Ibanez hit another 3-run homer in the top of the eighth. Phillies held on to win 8-6, take a 1-0 lead, and that kind of set the tone then for the rest of that series. That was the great Game 4 with Jimmy Rollins. Just a fun series. Phillies would go on to win that 4-1. We know they would lose the World Series to the Yankees, but on this day in 2009, Phillies beat the Dodgers 8-6 in Game 1 of the 2009 NLCS. Finally today, our Red October great game in Phillies postseason history. Game 6 of the 1980 World Series. Going to end here on a positive note. Steve Carlton was on the mound for the Phillies. Mike Schmidt got it started with a 2-run single in the third. Bake McBride had an RBI ground out in the fifth. Bob Boone had an RBI in the sixth. Carlton was just what they needed. 7 innings pitched, gave up 1 run, struck out 7. Tug McGraw with the 6-out save. The 9th inning with the backdrop of the Philly cops on horses and the German Shepherds to keep everybody on the field. And then you had the iconic strikeout of Willie Wilson with Tug jumping up and then into Mike Schmidt's arms. Also in that 9th inning, one of the greatest plays I feel in World Series history was when Bob Boone dropped the foul ball, but Pete Rose was right there to catch it with his hustle. Now, the Phillies were the last of the original 16 Major League Baseball teams to win a World Series. Kind of sad, but they finally got it done. Mike Schmidt won the MVP. But Game 6 of the 1980 World Series is today's Red October. Great game in Phillies postseason history. Another great game was 2009 Game 1 of the NLCS. Phillies beat the Dodgers 8-6, kind of setting the tone for that game. A lot of great games in there, that NLCS, so that's why they made it. I apologize for stumbling over my words. This Philly sports, whatever you want to call it, bad. I don't even know if it's bad luck, just bad year. Whatever it is, got me all worked up, so I apologize for tripping over my words. Let me know your thoughts on, is it Jalen Hurts or Kellen Moore? I think it's Jalen Hurts. And then follow-up question to that, is Nick Sirianni acting like an idiot because he's trying to distract and protect Jalen Hurts? It's not out of the question. I know he's kind of a loose cannon and kind of aloof, but man, he's going off the deep end, and it's working because we're not talking about Jalen not playing well. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over. Congratulations. You protected the ball, which is your job as the quarterback. It is Tuesday. Hopefully the mantra Serenity Now will get you through your week and get us till next week. Maybe 2025 will be a better year, but I don't know. It's not starting off well with Paul George getting hurt. Just frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. Serenity Now, Serenity Now, Serenity Now. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for October 15th, 2024. My name is Jim Montgomery. I will be better tomorrow. Hopefully I will not be as fired up. Go have yourselves a Tuesday, and until next time, Serenity Now, Serenity Now, Serenity Now.